what's going on? Legion Nude here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind, episode 56. So, right now, we're actually just going to go into the swamps as we need to get a little bit of swamp tar so we can work on our mannequins. But that's not really all we're going to be doing out here. We are going to be killing creatures, working on our magic XP. I actually don't even know how it got set on the fire spells because I actually didn't switch that. But I don't like fire versus air, right? I believe that the air spells are a lot better. You can see it seems to be a lot slower as well. But I think this is because fire is for an area of effect. So you're obviously going to be getting the benefit out of this from doing spells in regard of that. Let's see. So we actually don't even have any air runes. So that's why it sort of just automatically put it on fire. So what we're doing now is this swamp tar in a fire? No. So essentially what we're going to be doing, jumping back to what we were talking about, is we're going to be collecting swamp tar so that way we can make more hard leather. And this is going to be important and critical in making more hard leather. I feel like I just totally messed up my words there. But basically we're going to need more swamp tar to make more hard leather. So that way we can continue to work on our mannequin project. And since this is just terrible and I don't like it, we're just going to switch. We're going to use attack, since obviously we can actually use more attack XP anyway. So let's go ahead and just do it that way, as it's not really a big deal either way. So let's go ahead and go back up these stairs here, because I'm trying to see on a map here. Yeah, we actually don't want to be in this area anyway. There's certain areas that sort of just have more swamp tar than other areas. So we're going to focus on that, because we're not going to get every little piece that we can in a certain way that you would do it. Is like certain areas obviously just have predominantly more. And then there's also an area with 2 chests, but I don't know if those have respawned yet. So we can check out that really quick. Let's see. There's really not a lot of swamp tar around here. But what is that? It's a little leaf under there. So we're just sort of hopping around. I'm trying to find this one building, and it usually has 2 chests. I think it's right here. And let's see if they are. They are respawned. So we can just go ahead and grab the swamp tar and the rune essence. And that's one chest. And then the other chest is right here. So it's a great way to get swamp tar really quick. And then the other swamp tar that you're going to be getting is also near another lodestone that we actually have. So let's go ahead and check this out really quick. It's actually right here, I believe, up in the valley over here. So that's going to be the most efficient way to get swamp tar really quick. But obviously there's a lot of goblins here. They're not usually here. And also you can get a lot of herbs up here as well if you wanted to. But we're not really here for the herbs. Once we get these herbs, we are going to focus on cooking a little bit. So it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. And I think the big reason for that is basically that we, I guess, sort of had a different vision when we started doing this. And we thought we were going to be out here a lot longer doing this. But since we just sort of going to go for the easy ones, and then we can work on a little bit of cooking XP, and I think that's going to be the way we're going to do it. But it's quite a bit of swamp tar right here. There's actually one more chest we can actually grab, and then that will give us a little bit more. I would like to pick up a bit of mushrooms, but I'm not going to do that, as it just takes too long. It doesn't sound like it would really, but it's just a process that takes an incredible amount of time. I think I'll do that behind the scenes. But you see here, there's another chest. So that's pretty much the swamp tar you're going to get really quickly here. And there's 2 more here. We're going to grab those. And then I could have swore there was another one around here. I actually don't see. It's right here by the teleport. So we sort of put it on it. I remember there being another one right on here, but I didn't see it. So anyway, we got quite a bit of swamp tar though. How much did we get? We got 56. So it's actually quite crazy to get such a lot of swamp tar with little effort. So if you guys are potentially looking for swamp tar and a quick way to do it, I really think that's the way to do it. Put a couple of lodestones down, and then you'll just be able to get it rather quickly. So we're going to put these adhesive in here once we put the swamp tar there. And then we're going to grab all of our wood cutting potions, because that was another project that we're probably going to do in our next episode. We were going to try to do it for this one, but we just didn't have everything ready in time. So let's just put all this stuff in here, sort of mixing everything, which probably isn't a great idea, as I'm about to work on cooking for a little bit. So let's go ahead and bring out a cooking potion, and then we're going to go ahead and grab all of our food that we didn't use in one of my last episodes. So let's go ahead and drop all this inside here. And then we should pop a cooking potion because we don't want to lose any cooking XP, as it's the most ridiculous skill in the game. Which, just crazy to even say that, like, cooking's going to be the one thing that is just treacherous and takes forever. But it's okay, and it's just, now it's an expected thing. So we know that whenever we play the game, it's actually kind of great information for anybody who is just about to start playing this game and just checking out this video. It's a little bit further into the video, so if you haven't made it this far, you won't be able to benefit from that information. But ultimately, what you're going to need to do while you play this game is collect basically every single piece of food off the ground, which in all reality is kind of crazy if you think about it, because essentially instead of you being able to sort of get a different, I mean, not knowing what level 99 is going to require, but having sort of an inclination and an understanding that it's going to take quite a bit of XP to reach level 99, not knowing what that is right now, but I do know, in fact, that it's not going to be super easy. So essentially you will have to collect all the food that you basically find on the ground, whether it's plants or killing creatures. You're not going to want to leave any of that, because it's going to be essential while you're leveling up your cooking in the game. So it's just little things like that you, I mean, I don't know, I don't think they really planned for that to be the one skill in the game that was just going to be the most treacherous. But since all this is cooking, and we've got a lot of other stuff going on, I guess we're going to grab our wood cutting potions and get started at destroying all these trees that we've still got in the game, so that way we can sort of knock out a bunch of stones. And if you're wondering why we didn't really do an XP update at the beginning of the video, it's because we really didn't get a chance to put it in a lot of time in the behind the scenes. So obviously there was really nothing to update, but if you're this far in the video and you potentially just want to see where we're at with XP, and you could always just skip to the end, because we're going to do an XP update from everything that we're going to have gotten in this video. So obviously we've still got quite a bit of trees to cut down here, and we've wiped out quite a bit of the forest, but there's obviously always more to get rid of, and then we're going to have to come back eventually and get rid of all these, which is just going to take a considerable amount of time. Ultimately, we just got to keep pushing forward. I know that there's nothing really new that came to the game, and so for a lot of people it can be quite repetitive, but having played RuneScape for so long, I'm just sort of used to this sort of thing. Having to wait months or potentially years for a quest, or new skills come into the game, and just like such a long wait period of time. And I think that's really what it is, because in the other one, I guess you'd have certain creatures you might have to get a certain skill to kill, but they've already done poll boards on the Discord, and basically they're gonna have level requirements. So the more time you put into the game now, it's gonna save you a lot of time later. And you could always do it later and just sort of do it in that progression. I think there's going to be different styles and different ways people want to do that and accomplish different things in a game. But I think ultimately this is a really good route, and just sort of just get yourself in a better position now, so that when the new things come to the game, you can sort of experience that rather than racing towards it. But there's really nothing wrong with waiting for things to come to the game and then working towards them. I think that sort of actually creates a distance from you in a game for a little bit of time. And then once something new does come to the game, it all feels very fresh. But sometimes when you do that, it actually can kind of hinder you a little bit, because you sort of maybe potentially are involved in another game that you really enjoy playing, and then you're not necessarily going to just kind of fall back into the groove of playing this game. I know there's a lot of good games coming out later this year, and as well as next year too. So I think it's going to be really difficult. So I think it's very important to stay close to Dragonwilds, so that way that doesn't happen. I mean, obviously they moved Grand Theft Auto out, and that's going to be really big. So I think that that's going to tear a little bit of people away. But ultimately, if you love RuneScape Dragonwilds, you're going to keep playing the game. So they've got lots of different things coming to the game every 3 months next year. So I think that's really going to help a lot, and I think it's going to keep bringing people to the game and coming back. So we don't have any hour runes, because when we made runes in one of our last videos, we forgot to sort of put our runes back in our inventory, which is unfortunate, because now actually we cannot do actual projection. So we can't actually knock down multiple trees at once, which is actually a big pain. So we're probably going to go use a lodestone and then come right back. I think that's the best way to do it, because we're wasting time right now. Essentially, you want to be cutting down as many trees as you can, as this is going to boost XP, and it's also just going to overall help you while playing the game. But now it's nighttime, so I think what we do want to do is go to sleep. All the other things that we were doing in the game are going to be completed, and then we can come back and grab them. But the whole reason I came back here was to grab our runes, so let's go ahead and do that. I want to make sure I grab enough. It's interesting, it looks like it only took out 999 last time, so we can replace that with that natures. So I don't think we have enough natures now, so let's go ahead and put this in for laws. I think we're okay now. So let's go back to where we were and keep cutting down trees. But ultimately, our plan is to completely eliminate every single tree that we possibly can in the beginner area. I don't know what this is going to look like, because there are certain trees I cannot access the roots. So it's quite unfortunate, because I really wanted to have that fully complete look. It's basically like building a entire castle and you can't get the last two pieces in. Or actually, you build an entire puzzle and there's two pieces missing. And now you've just essentially done all this and you cannot have a completed project. Overall, it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, it would be nice to say we have completely gotten rid of all the trees. So I'm not sure if there's a way to do that. I guess I'll have to look a little bit more into that. I guess what I could do is potentially just build something over where the root is and it won't grow back. So it would still give it a cool look, but I would know. And I don't like to know things like that. I'd like to do it a real official way. It's just, there's obviously that thing in the back of your head that's like, it's not 100%. So I obviously like to be 100% on things, and I don't know. But ultimately, we're making great progress in the game, and we're really excited about our progression. And it's just, that's it, you got to keep going. And we just lost an entire tree off that cliff, so that's unfortunate. I don't really like things like that. I feel like with my rune essence that I've shot down by one of the vaults, actually I'll show you on a map here, right here. Basically, I've shot down so many rune essence that fell off the cliff. I wonder how many are down there, and then are they affecting the actual, like, integrity? Because if you have certain things stacked in mass amounts, it actually creates a delay in the game. I mean, obviously I'm being a little bit absurd. It's just rune essence, but at the same time, I don't like it. And I wish there was a way I could actually get it. But we'll see, because I'm not sure. There's just so much to still be determined in the game, and whether or not we can access certain parts on the map that we can't currently right now. Maybe they'll actually make a lot of these places accessible, like the ocean out there, because they're going to introduce fishing into the game. I mean, I don't really think that they would have the capability. Clearly, you've only got, I guess, so much each area can contain, because it's all going to take graphics to load the game. And you can see when you build a lot of things in one area, it sort of slows the game down. So I really don't know if it's possible for them to use certain areas that are so close to these and sort of allow us to go down in those chasms and fish down there. And, you know, it's interesting with fishing is, look at the size of this lake. It's so tiny. I don't recall any large lakes in the game. So obviously, these are great beginner fishing areas, though. So I think when they made the game, they had all this sort of already laid out. They just hadn't really shared it with us, which was actually something that was discussed in the Discord thread. He had said, you know, like, we all know, but you guys don't know, so you're in the dark. So once they sort of opened up that and then started to explain things about, like, it's possible that there's so much in this game that's already laid out that we have not understood or seen, and it all will sort of blend in together. Like those little lakes, yes, we grab water there, but ultimately they just add fishing spots. And then you've got all these churches all over the place, right? I think there's a couple churches, if I'm not mistaken. And essentially, maybe you have to go to a church to bury bones. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Or maybe in the beginning levels you have to do that, and then you could sort of build an altar for yourself, so that way you don't have to rely on going to a church. I'm not sure. But I think there's lots of different things that they can do, and, you know, I'm just, I don't even know, like, what about, like, clue scrolls? Could you add them to the game? I know some people don't like clue scrolls. If you don't like them, then you don't have to do them. But potentially you could get certain rare items, which actually might make other people want to do clue scrolls. I think that would be quite fun. And then, like, little riddles around the game. But, like, this cemetery just speaks to me right now. It's sort of saying, like, this is a mystery within the game, even though it's not. I just think it's quite interesting. But we're going to repop our woodcutting potion. We're going to run through one woodcutting potion, cutting down trees. We're going to go back, and then we're actually going to grab all the food that we cooked. We're going to get XP from that. We're going to grab our swamp tar, and then we're probably going to do an XP update, and then probably conclude this episode. But ultimately, I think that even though the game is lacking a lot of content, I think really they've given us so much. I've talked about this before, but if you really think about what they've given us so far, it's incredible. I mean, it's basically everything you could want from like a more, I guess, like MMO style. I know it's a survival game, but ultimately it's like got a style of an MMO. And I really don't think that they could have done any better with creating this sort of game for us. So I'm actually very happy with it. And I know a lot of people have different views on it and different opinions, but having played a lot of the old, RuneScape, RuneScape 3 and then old school RuneScape, I can sort of see how I should be so grateful for it. So I think it's really important that I have played those other games to sort of have that. And then also, it's very relaxing when you're playing this game. I mean, I think that's also really important too. Um, I think that's really important, and that's just kind of nice when you can just hop on a game and sort of cut down some trees and just enjoy yourself a little bit. I think that's something if a game can accomplish and you can get that from it. I think that they've sort of struck gold in that regard. So obviously, we are going to probably try to go up that whole hill and cut down all those trees, and then we're going to head back and collect what we've got from cooking. Hopefully, it's an illusion, and hopefully, a lot of those trees aren't actually there. We will come back and get that other tree, but I won't do it right now. Hopefully, a lot of these already are cut down, but the graphics just haven't shown me that yet, because that's quite a bit of trees. I don't understand why I would have left them, but then again, there's a ridiculous amount of trees all over the place initially. So we've made quite just a complete destruction of the forest. All these trees in front of me right here, I don't understand why they're here. It's possible that I just never made it that far when I was tearing out the forest, but you can see here there's logs all over the place. So that I just come here and I didn't grab these, it just kind of strikes me as odd. It only makes me think that potentially some of these trees are coming back. Do these little ones here, do these turn into trees? I'm not even sure. The saplings. It's possible that over the course of so many days, those turn into big trees. I hope that's not the case, because essentially then I can never really get rid of all the trees. But regardless, we're going to keep attempting this, and you can see looking out that way that definitely the trees are not growing back. So I think I just happen to miss these somehow. But loads of work has went into this. And we're going to go up this hill and cut the rest of these trees down. Whether or not I've already cut them down before, I couldn't say. But I am going to get rid of this little crafting table. I hate finding things from when I first started playing the game just lying around. It actually quite irritates me. But it's kind of nice because we're getting all these red berries. This is a great place to put a lodestone if you're trying to just collect resources fast for cooking. You can also go do something else in the game, and then when those respawn, you just sort of have quick access to get back to collect more red berries. But cooking materials are beast. They're ridiculous and they take forever. But obviously you can do little things like that, making lodestones to give quick access, and I think it just makes it a lot easier. But you could just see the devastation to the forest that we've done. You see that one tree over that we didn't get, and then you've got the right side from there. They could also add like little world bosses. Obviously this is a beginner area. You probably wouldn't want to do something like that right here. But yeah, I can see here that I've cut down quite a bit of the forest. Obviously, there's some things I still need to get. Some of those trees out there that cannot be there. I believe it's a graphics glitch, mainly over there on the right side. I believe that's right by my base, and I don't think I left any trees down there. But you can see I've done quite a bit. I guess there's still so much to do in the beginner area, primarily over there on that side. But I think that's more towards the fractured plains. I'm not entirely sure, but we will be finding out eventually, because we're going to be we've actually started on the fractured plains as well. We've been destroying a lot of the forest over there. We've still got quite a bit of trees to go here. But once we're done with this, we are going to go back. And I think I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but I haven't really been doing as much behind the scenes. And I think the reason for that primarily is we've got quite a ways until Valhalla comes to the game. And if I sort of just wipe everything out right now, then one, I won't really need to play the game as much because I'll have already reached all my goals. And I think the other thing is, it's okay to take your time and just slowly start putting time into this and accomplishing what you want. I don't think it all needs to just be bursted out instantly. Forgot to cut down the base, but There's quite a bit going on down there, though. We got 3 more trees over there. Got to get them. We got one by the church, so we left. We got these 3 cows, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it right now. We want them dead. We want the resources. It's so hard for me because I do so much in the game that I can't leave things. I cannot leave them. It's becoming more difficult. And actually, my storage chest or my storage factory, warehouse, whatever, full of all the different things, it's just full of so much. But I also make a lot of stuff, so it's not a true reflection of what I would have of just basic raw materials. I feel like I've used so many materials to create armor and other things in a game. So I think that's sort of where we're at with that. So I wish I would have all of it to sort of show, but at the same time, I think those mannequins speak for themselves in massive amounts. So we've got a couple trees here. Once these are done, we are going to head back. I'm going to waste a woodcutting potion because it's not really that big of a deal, so we can get a little bit more woodcutting XP while we're doing this. But probably in one of the next episodes, we're going to start clearing out that right side and then work our way that way up to the hills. But overall, I think we're making quite good progress with the getting rid of all the trees. It's just interesting. I wish the graphics would load in a little better and we could see all the ones that I've actually cut that are still showing that they're there. It's possible they all are still there, though, some of them. But I noticed that in some areas it will show you trees that aren't actually there, and as you approach the area, they'll all sort of disappear. And that's only important because, I mean, there's a gratification that when you're looking out into the valley and you see all the trees you cut, it's sort of a cool feeling. So definitely something that we like to see. I mean, I got to come back here and use my, what's it called? I've got to come back here and use my splinter on all these trees just sort of sitting around. So that's obviously going to take time too. But that's just something for later. But I guess later isn't going to come because the truth is that through getting rid of this entire forest in the beginning area, we are going to be hitting our 1 million mark in wood cutting. But I guess we could go over that a little bit. I mean, we got to have little side projects along the way because clearly we are going to hit our targets quite fast. But there you go. So no more trees. All gone now. Except that one over there. But I'm not necessarily worried about that at this current point in time. Eventually, I'd like to go back and pick up all the things that I sort of lazily left on the ground. That would actually be kind of nice too. But let's go ahead and go back to our base. We are going to put these trees in here and mix everything because we're being lazy right now. But that's not really that big of a deal. It's a common thing for me. Just because I've got so much different stuff going on. So let's go ahead and pop a cooking potion. And let's see how much cooking XP we're going to get. I mean, we got quite a bit last time, and then a lot of the food that was in those chests was from the time before, like a couple episodes ago. So we got 1700 XP, which is actually quite nice. Obviously, we added a little bit of that in behind the scenes. Even though our behind the scenes wasn't crazy, it's still worth mentioning we did get a little bit behind the scenes. So we got another 1000 Artisan XP. We're not even concerned about Artisan, not even in the least. So let's go ahead and now do an XP update, and then we're going to conclude this episode. Let's go ahead and take a look. So attack, 284,000 XP. We've got woodcutting sitting at 965,000 XP. So what's that? 35,000 XP away from 1 million, which is going to be crazy. And we've got construction sitting at 2,007,000, runecrafting sitting at 519,000, magic sitting at 80,000, mining 4,061,000. We've got artisan sitting at 4,077,000, and cooking sitting at 210,000. So you can see that we've been pounding away at cooking, and we've been leveling it up quite fast. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to conclude this episode. We really hope you guys are enjoying our content. We hope you guys are enjoying your experience in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Nuda out.